Okay. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining. This is obviously live. So if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the public chat. Throw anything up in the Q&A. And I'll address anything as we go through it. The goal of this is everyone here is a founding member or a pro member of ZipISA, and you all are running your own AI agent or more in your zip code. Obviously, that's Sophie. We found the name Sophie works really well, and that's our persona that we're building out here for each and every one of you. Today, I wanted to meet because there's so many things that we've shipped. I think that there's been a lot of questions as well as a lot of big opportunities of how do I move forward? How do I get integrated? So many different things, Home Value Pros, referrals, the CRMs, all the different upgrades that are coming as well, and just a lot of things in the realm of what your AI agent can do and what it has access to, how that's changing, how you can now download leads, how you can integrate your CRM, what is on the roadmap of next to being built. The AI space is super fast moving. Obviously, if anyone is using ChatGPT or anything, there's just so much happening all the time. And that's really like where we find our sweet spot. Obviously, that being said, we try to extrapolate all the complexities and issues and concerns around building AI tools. And that is the product of ZipISA. So if you have any questions during this demo, so I'm going to be demoing a few things. I'll share my screen on a few things, and then I'm going to just open it up and ask me anything. Go ahead and use the public chat to ask any questions. Use the Q&A. I know that there's a lot of questions, and that's really good. And I think feedback is good as well. And then we're going to roll through some of the different feature rollouts as we go. But before I get started, go ahead and ping in the public chat kind of where you're at. Are you an agent or are you a broker? Throw out any information for anyone else so that we can get the dialogue kicked off here. I'll keep this call, I'll try to keep the demo real short. I know in the interest of time for everyone, that's really important. And then I'll leave enough time at the end for Ask Me Anything. So Chris, Las Vegas, single agent. Terry, broker associate in Houston. Lisa, agent in California. Very cool. I know there's more people here, so if you can go ahead. Charlene, hey Charlene, Fort Worth. Go ahead and ping that in the chat, and we'll just keep going here. Mac, you're in Boston, cool. Yeah, so a good mix, Central, East Coast, West Coast, broker associate, San Diego, Jesse. Diana, Florida broker, very good. Amalfis, agent in Tampa, very good. Okay, anyone else? And I'll just keep going here. Jeff, Orlando, see that Q&A, and I don't know if it's difficult to do the Q&A or the chat. I don't know exactly how that shows up on the user level, but yeah, both work, but I think the chat's very easy for everyone to see. So this is good. Keep the chat going. Any questions as I go through this, please just throw them in the chat. I'm going to try to kind of go back and forth through that so we can just keep getting through things. But also, I want to make sure that everything that I'm addressing in this whole thing, obviously I'm one of the co-founders of ISA. I have another co-founder, Martin, and we've worked on this product, and really we've been working in the technology and real estate space for a long time, over 5 years now. And there's just been a lot that we've found and understood in what a product should be in terms of the value for you, the agent. That's what we're aiming to build with ZipISA, and fundamentally, I think that we're there, and we have a long way to go in terms of how many more valuable elements we bring into this product and build something that is truly something that is highly valuable in your market that you own, and something that I'll also kind of tease out at the end of this that you can also sell in what would be like a marketplace of agents. So that's kind of the goal here, and it's really an all hands on effort to bridge from where we are today to get us to that goal Obviously, the value is this is something that it's able to service the high intent sellers in any given area, and eventually it's something that you can plug into your CRM, and it's the best conversational agent that can work through any lead that comes across your desk, whether that's your CRM, whether that's on your website, whether that's any integration that we pair. Home Value Pros is just one example. We're looking to pair so many more integrations for your agent so that you are the agent across all the traffic online that's searching for buying or selling a home. Obviously today it's more selling. And so that's really the scope here. So without further ado, I'm going to start with, I'm going to start in a dashboard. So I've got some dummy data here, and let me just pull that up. And again, any questions at any time, please hit me with them. So I've got my dummy account. This is, oh, and I see there was a question. Perfect. Great, Charlene. What did testing reveal in terms of metrics? How many emails on average person reads before they respond? How many connections lead to X appointments? Average number of days, weeks for people to start responding. Perfect. Yeah, that's a great question. So, and I'll be addressing especially that question as we go through all of this. So here's a dummy account. This is all dummy data, but just an example of in theory, my dashboard and what this would look like. So if you haven't done this yet, obviously do this part, go and join become a founding member. And so that's the first thing. I want to make sure that any value we're bringing to Pro and obviously founders first. I believe there's a number of more seats left in the first founding members, and that's where we're actually growing this as more of a group and a team. And that's important. So with AI today, the main aspect of this model that we're actually building, it's something that it becomes the ability to understand basically all homeowner conversations across America. And the best way to reach out to a homeowner at any time, and basically the most likely time that homeowner is ready to be reached out to based on whether they're doing something online, whether that's Facebook, whether that's taking certain actions in their life stage, right? There's so many different things and reasons why a homeowner might need to be reached out to or want to speak to someone. And so that's the goal and the aim of this, of these agents. And so the more intelligence we get, the intelligence increases at an individual agent level, but then also across the broader intelligence. And so that's really what we're building here from an AI agent side. And so the more real estate agents that we have on platform, the more agents we're able to unlock. We're already unlocking agents in other high value zip codes and effectively bringing those to the fold so that we can have more intelligence across zip codes that have more traffic. And we're continually adding more on that side. So if you haven't been into your dashboard, I would definitely urge you, go in your dashboard today. And I'm going to go look at the chat here. Yep, perfect. Okay. So any questions, keep on throwing them in there. So go in your dashboard today and just look through it. So obviously the structure of this is the agent finds leads online, and it actually does that through a number of different sources. You can think like the most basic ones would be expired listings, FSBOs, as was any behavior that someone's exhibiting online that they are likely to want to home specifically, as well as a number of data sources that we're enriching these AI agents with. So we're actually always adding more data sources and basically like public and private feeds of data so that the AI agent is scraping more and more sources across the web that you may or may not be able to access yourself. I think that's really important, that what we see that this AI agent is doing today is really work that you would do yourself most likely, that now you can actually leverage something to do that. And for what we would think is a much less cost than it would be to run an AI model to do this yourself, or even buy this data individually versus doing it in bulk like we're able to do now. we're using lots of different sources, different sources of places to be able to get this information, especially we're now enriching different levels of mortgage data and things like that. So let me go into some of those things. Before I go there, agents, different homeowners, so it's all based on of the best time to find those and reach out to those homeowners, and then puts them into the outreach. All the while, the agent is also provisioning its own mailboxes. And so this is really just, if you've never looked at this is what this actually means. And so those inboxes actually are doing a warming sequence. And so if you've ever, done any cold emails specifically, then cold emailing is obviously, it's something that you could do it wrong. And if you do it wrong, then you're landing in spam, you're landing in promotions, you're not actually getting read. And that would be really bad when you send an email to not get read, especially for someone that they didn't necessarily give you their email to contact them. And so that's part of what's going on here, where the mailboxes are being warmed, and that's typically takes about 8 weeks to fully warm an inbox to where you can send, up to 50 emails a day or whatever that number may be. So let's go through that quickly. So I'm back on the dashboard, and so I'm just going to go through some of the tabs on the left side. Obviously, the goal obviously is replies. The goal is also meetings. But within time, one of the things that we haven't done right now, which is a next step that we're looking to deploy this week, is to show all the engagement with the emails, because that is actually one thing that's happening in spades today. We're getting so much engagement on these emails outside of just replies. That's opens, that's clicks, that's those types of engagements, which are actually precursors to what would be someone is looking to, be contacted. And so one of the things that we're looking to do, even if they didn't reply, there's an opportunity here where and I'm just going to go to my homeowners tab real quick. So in your homeowners tab, we've done a couple things. We've brought in obviously all the homeowners, so you can now see everyone that's in your quasi CRM. This might be looked at as a type of CRM. I wouldn't really look at it as that. Just let's call it a list. So your agent is like creating a list for you. And I'm back. So any other questions, go ahead and throw that in the chat. So your agent's creating this effectively a list for you. I'm looking at one of the leads I'm just going to describe it. So I'm looking at one of the, quote unquote leads right now that the agent found. It assigned a signal to this. So it assigned a seller signal. And it did all these enrichments as well. So it enriched this person, Kelsey B, at 5565 Mulberry Way in Yorba Linda. I live in Yorba Linda, with their credit score as well as an estimated income, 250 to 300,000. It gave a kind of a whole. This is like an AI generated description of this person, but here's some other bullet points. So the homeowner profile would include the estimated net worth at the household level, the number of years in the home. So this person is a homeowner since 2011, so they own the home for 15 years. This is at the household level, so there's effectively 4 adults in this household. So what this person isn't is the verified homeowner, but this person does live in the home. And so the verified homeowner, this is our mortgage data enrichment, where we've taken the address that we've received and we've done another enrichment on the backside to say that the person that owns this home has been a homeowner for 15 years. On the other side of that, this person is living in the home, but they're not the homeowner necessarily. But they are the person that's actually doing that the agent found doing the activity, whether that was online or what have you. And so what's important here is the different activities that a person can do for the agent to actually qualify them as, the quote unquote lead. And that's actually to a question that I just saw. We're doing, that's our next step as well, to basically say this person's a for sale by home, a FSBO lead. This person's an expired listing lead. And the list goes on. This person just got divorced, or this person just filed, or this person just did this. And so this is why the agent is reaching out on that behalf. And so today that's not directly like sortable or filterable, but that's definitely the next step as well with this whole list of homeowners. And so that would be how we go there. And so what we just did with this whole list is for pro users, you're able to, actually for everyone, you're able to see the entire list. So you're able to see this whole list of the email, the contact data, why they're here, and the whole kind of like scope of what that person is. And so obviously some of these people, there's a different range of different information. It's not going to get the same information for everyone, but it's going to get a lot of information. And we're only going to add more bits of information that can be shown for those homeowners. That is actually a precursor to the next step, which is for pro users, we actually have an export function, which is the kind of precursor that we had to have for also our next step, which was our integrations. And so we've integrated today with Follow Boss in Bold Trail or KV Core as they were. And for anyone that has those CRMs, those are the integrations that we've rolled out that were very straightforward for us to do. It was about 80% of our agents that were on CRMs. But for everyone else here, know that Lofty is a big one, as well as name your CRM. Daryl, I beat you to it, Daryl. Lofty is definitely on our list to get done ASAP. But I think for anyone else here, like name the CRM, and we're going to work to integrate as soon as possible as well. That's really a low-hanging fruit for us. We actually, I think it was Lisa. Lisa had, I believe it was Bold Trail. She identified a problem that she had in her Bold Trail import, and so specifically how the data fields were mapping and how many data fields. So we actually addressed that for Lisa, and we're doing that also for Follow Boss. So for those that do have Follow Boss or Bold Trail, let us know as well and test it out. Like test these features, see if the leads are coming in right. Actually, Tayana, I just got off call with her earlier today. Her Follow Boss, it was importing the leads as buyer leads, which that puts them in a different sequence for Follow Boss, and that was not good. That's something that we didn't have, configured in the best way, and so we're reconfiguring that so that we're mapping the data fields correctly, but also they're coming in as seller leads, and then Follow Boss can, take those actions as well. And so now you can basically have this parallel for where your agent's doing what it does, and then also if you want to do other things, like you might send mailers, you might send, different, informationals to a household at a household level, maybe even like a 6x11 of all the listings that are either up or sold in the area. Those are things that you can now do straight with this connection. And so let me just keep going. So here's our next big one. So we actually partnered with a company called Home Value Pros. And so the way that I look at Home Value Pros is it is our ability to now put you and your agents anywhere online that your potential clients would be. What Home Value Pros does really well is they leverage SEO, and I'm just going to go here. So I'm going to reshare. Sorry, Tayana. Should you be doing what things? Go ahead. And I'm going to walk through this whole thing. So let me just walk through this whole thing with Home Value Pros. So with Home Value Pros, high level, what is it? They have a number of functions to actually, and I'll just go to the page. Oh, got it. Yes, and I'll walk through that as well. So here is the Home Value Pros landing page, and if you go to Home Value Pros yourself, go to homevaluepros.com, and basically, if I'm a homeowner, what I'm going to be looking for if I go to Home Value Pros is I'm going to be looking for to get a number of things: a valuation on my home, a cash offer on my home. I'm also going to be looking for, different qualities around the home, value and that value against other factors. And so this is a very and I'll just do my own thing. So and then let's say Aaron Rafferty, and then timeline. Let's say 1 to 3 months. Here's what's going on in real time. if I'm a homeowner, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to get this home value report. It's going to actually take the snapshot of the actual home. So this is a home in the area, and obviously this would be my home. The first thing that came up was just the generic, but this is actually now a cash offer that that's now been estimated at this home level. We found that the data on this is pretty good for what cash offer programs typically run, which is why we really liked this Home Value Pros integration. Now, what's happening here is I've got my email in here. It already has my information, and then I can book my call. And so the call book, I actually told them that this should be within like the same day because we don't want to miss any opportunities. But it looks like the first call booking is Friday, so it's Tuesday today. And so I want to understand my cash offer. This is kind of what it is. And so whomever owns this market, which it doesn't look like anyone owns this market here, this review my offers and all of this other information. So I can see offer details here. So they actually have an integration with a mortgage broker. And so that's what this is. So effectively, whomever agent would be on this, you're actually going to be the agent on this whole process. And so that's really important. There's a training for what these deals and these offers actually mean. But what we liked about this is there's, you have so many different offer programs that 70% on the dollar and the like. But what this does is it gives us the ability to give an opportunity that looks like a market valuation. And so that's what the Cash Plus offers. And I think this is familiar for everyone with like knowledge of iBuying programs. But the value here is that you don't have to have your homeowner go with this offer, but it gives us the foot in the door to be able to have a conversation and then get the listing. And so that's really kind of like what this is now. So every time that these offers are coming through, I'm just going to go back. Now your AI agent's able to manage them, and likely the AI agent doesn't even need to do anything before that call is booked. So I've got this call booked that would come into, actually it's integrated direct to the ZipISA portal. And so this would come into like this dashboard here. And so this would be an example. This is obviously a test one. This is an example of something that would come through. And now you have a call on your calendar. And so we've actually run a lot of bookings here, and we're rolling this out like across the board. It's a very big opportunity for us to go from pure outbound to also start fielding inbound traffic. And so I'm just going to come back here. Tiana, so yes, so mailers calling, all those things. I think those are extremely valuable things to be doing. And then do you wait on the agent to make the connection? So that's the good thing now. Definitely, I would let the agent do the farming for you. Reply agent pause for you. I'll answer that, Chris. I would let the agent do the farming for you especially with the leads that it found. Anything that comes in from Home Value Pros, especially now, you can let your agent, do reach out as well. But the big value is you have someone that is ready to go immediately as well there. And so if you are someone that likes to call and, start that personal connection and that conversation, I wouldn't even wait. I wouldn't even wait for those call bookings to come up. If this call was booked for 8/14, that's Friday. If I saw it and there's a notification that there's a new Home Value Pros lead in my dashboard, I would go immediately and I'd call that person. And so that's really the value, getting that surface area across. And so for regular ZipISA leads, I would definitely wait for that intent to be created in terms of that inbound, whether that be a number of opens and clicks on an email. And so that's one of the things that we're finding is actually working really well. Just people that are opening and clicking like a ton, that shows that they're very high intent. They're just not responding. That's really important. And so that's a really big opportunity where we're actually implementing a lead score metric next, where you're actually going to be able to see the lead score in terms of here's someone that your agent found, and based on the conversations that your agent's having with them, here's, out of the score of 100, here's someone that's, a 90. They might not have replied, but they're showing so much intent and engagement. It's probably behooves us to reach out to them. And so you can go to homevaluepros. And then Grace, I see your question, Grace. So let me go to ZipISA real quick. So any leads that come from Home Value Pros referrals, first of all, it's an opt-in. So you don't have to do this. It's not going to cost you any more money. But everyone that's here, you're either a founding member or you're a pro member. We're also doing, we also got the ability to do a 2-month trial of Home Value Pros for starters. Obviously, in the event that it's working, you'd upgrade to pro to have that permanently. It's a 15% referral fee for Home Value Pros. Obviously, no extra cost on your monthly membership. Also, though, they are now showcasing you as, and it's really this right here, basically the pro in your area. And so that's at the zip code level, just like we have it triaged. And so you would be the pro. And so that would be on the profile for that page. And so that's a $500 a month that they would normally charge to basically have all that traffic. Basically, any button on that page, it would go to the agent there. And so it's triaged effectively in the same way. And so that's obviously like direct inbound lead flow. It comes into your portal and you can see it here. There's actually a referral agreement that you can view and sign in your dashboard. And you'll be able to also update your public agent page. Very important. So basically, I'm going to show you now those public agent pages. Stop sharing. So obviously, we're still like rolling this out. And if you're seeing yourself on here, good. If you see yourself and you don't have any of this information or you don't have your photo on here, then that means that actually we've connected this directly into your ZipISA portal. You'll be able to fill out your public information page in your ZipISA portal. So go in there and do that. Add your photo, add everything. And so I'm gonna go here to Charlene's. Actually, I'm gonna go to a market page for Charlene. So this is actually a good example. So if I go to Charlene's, and hey Charlene, I'm sorry for using you here. So we have the, basically we've partnered with them because they do a really good job with SEO and driving inbound traffic. They're getting tons of people per month at least to these pages. And that's a really good indicator for us. What they didn't have was the ability to actually reach out to people as they were coming in. And that's why they worked with us with our AI agents. And that's why they normally charge 25% for the referrals, but we got them to basically do a group rate for us to get that at 15%, because I know how important that is for everyone here, especially if you're an agent. You're already paying a team fee, a broker fee. Let's make sure that we're getting that at the best rate so that there's a lot of value there for everyone. But now, basically, the agent being able to do the reach out once someone comes in is extremely valuable for Home Value Pros. And so for us, we're able to leverage what they do really well, which is SEO. They're driving so much traffic to these pages that are then going to do cash offers. They're going down to track the value. They're going down to do all of these things. But then obviously we have the licensed pro in the region. And so that's the thing that they're charging $500 a month for. And that's really kind of like the secondary feature that we got them to kind of throw in. If we're going to put our agent on this, let's make sure that our agents are here. And so obviously there are 3 pro seats, right? And so if you are the owner of all 3 pro seats, then you'll be the only one here. But if you are the one of 3, then there would be up to 3 agents here. That's really kind of the function. And so just like it works today, if you're one of 3 pro seats and there's 2 other people on that, it's triaged and there's no overlap. It would be triaged effectively as well. And you'd be here as well as 2 other people. That's really kind of like how that works. And so we kind of like bundled that. And so they've got lots of calculators, they've got lots of things, and they're always adding more features and functions here. So when you click contact, I would put my name, I would put my email, phone number, and then I'm going to hit contact and we'll see how this works. I'm going to book my call with Charlene right now, booked for 8:14. Let's just see how that goes. Charlene can tell us. And so in that way, there's a lot more inbound traffic that we're looking to drive, and Home Value Pros is like one of many that we're looking to partner with and basically unlock the value of your agents. Oh, wow. Charlene, you already got a message. That's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, that's good. And so I think for that too, everyone that's here, that feature, it's not done yet. We're just rolling it out right now. We're looking to add more functions, and we're looking to add more traffic. So they have a whole like ads budget and everything, and so we're just like looking to like push that whole thing. Obviously, the value is there for them, but for us, the value is let's get more conversations, let's get more connections, and let's get some like home sales. Okay. So I've hit the Home Value Pros partnership. I'm just kind of like working through this, and I've got a lot of questions here. So let me go through some of these questions. Okay. So when I get a notification from my follow-up boss that I have ZipISA leads, does that mean that the agent is still working the lead, or do I make contact at that point? Agent's still working, but if you do have the contact information, it looks like the conversation is going well, definitely reach out. Like, it does not hurt to reach out. You understand kind of like where that lead is at. You can see the previous conversation history. And if you believe that there's a good enough opportunity there, reach out. I think what's going to be really useful and helpful for everyone is when we start to integrate the lead quality and like the hotness scale for every lead, where basically if it's over like 80, if the agent hasn't booked a call, like reach out to them. Like it's pretty much ready to go, and you don't want to lose that opportunity. So their connection. Okay, screen is good. Okay. If the agent is identifying renters, people that do not own a home, is there potential to eventually work those leads as for potential buyers? Yes, that's exactly right, Charlene. If it's identifying renters, which it really shouldn't be so much, and if y'all are seeing that, definitely like reach out, identify any ones that it's identifying as like a renter, because that obviously could be a buyer, and I think you can throw that in a buyer bucket, but also we would want to make sure that the agent's doing like its job correctly, like fundamentally, and I think looking at sellers first is really the priority here. So how about prospects? Yes. So yeah, that's a good question, Amalfis. And I'll get to that as well. So our next thing, let me just go back to share my screen here on our dashboard. So there's one more integration. So obviously everything I just did with Charlene, that was all predicated on her filling out her in her homeowner referrals tab. If you go to the middle, she filled out her master referral agreement. And if you are an agent, not the broker, you'll need your broker to sign that as well, just like normal. And then you're going to update your photo and your license, all of that type of information. And so what's important here, it's like obviously detailed information. You can put anything you want here. You can use AI or whatever you'd like. Definitely, we're going to have another spot for your website. I think that is also a valuable component. But also, if you don't put an address, it's just going to default to the Home Value Pros address. That's basically what that is. And so that should be good and clear. The last thing I want to get to in terms of like a big update is website visitors. So if everyone can go to their dashboards today, you'll see a new tab called website visitors. And so you're going to actually, I'm going to explain what this is. And so I'm going to go back here. Any other questions? Okay. So we actually partnered with a company that basically identifies all web traffic. It's called Webhawk. And what that actually means is today you have so much traffic that comes to your website probably, or let's say like your parent broker's website, and They never filled out a form. They're just browsing different listings. They're doing like lots of things on those websites, but they never gave the contact information, even though they've done so many things that says that, oh, like this person's probably a buyer, or, oh, this person probably is looking to sell their home because they're on an agent's website or they're on Zillow or like whatever it is. And so we've already integrated this with Home Value Pros, this feature fundamentally. And so anything that comes to the Home Value Pros page, and let's say they didn't click those buttons, let's say they didn't actually fill out the form to reach out to Charlene, they didn't do any of the things that would indicate that they were wanting to be contacted right now. Now they're also being catched where the actual information on that individual, which could be their home address, their name and phone number, and other information that indicates that they came to this page and had intent on this page, they're actually being identified and they're going to be coming into this section. And so what we're also unlocking is the ability for your agent to reach out to anyone that comes to these pages that didn't necessarily today say they wanted to be contacted, but they came to the page and have high intent. Basically what that looks like is, hey, I saw that you were browsing on this page. Is there anything I can do to help you with the home value, the value of your home, etc. Right? And so that's a big funnel that 99% of people they miss today because they don't know who came to the websites. But those people that are coming to websites, like they're probably buyers or sellers. They just didn't, maybe they didn't have time to fill out the form. They didn't really care to do so. Maybe they had connection issues to fill out. You never know. And so we're also giving the ability to add this feature to your own website. So now anything that comes to your website, it's going to come into this portal as well, which obviously goes right back to your CRM if you have a CRM connected. And so let's say that I did that. There's a function here where you would install this pixel, and for some reason it showed up white. But based on the type of website you would have, you're going to install the pixel, basically copy, and it kind of like walks you through how to do this, and then you test your installation. And so I think that there can be a hurdle to do that. And so if anyone wants to do that and test that out, just send us an email, to support, help me install my pixel, and let's get that onto your website so that you can start identifying that traffic. Now, baked in, this is actually this company, Webhawk. And so if you went to Webhawk today, so actually, I'm not sharing that screen. Let me go to the tab. So if you went to this today, this is really what we're using. And so we basically have, again, like just amazing pricing on this. This is all included in your account, in your monthly. Obviously, like the feature is we need more sources of high intent traffic. What are all the sources of high intent traffic? Your own website, Home Value Pros, the things that your agent is finding online on the open and private internet. These are really good sources. And so we're able to give the first 100 every month, the first 100 matches on these, and that's at no extra cost. That's really the deal that we kind of work there. And so it's just, what does that look like today? It looks like more leads, a different type of lead, a different qualification. Obviously, with these leads, what you're going to want to do is, if they're coming in and we're getting the phone number, if they're responding to the email or opening those emails, that's a really good opportunity to just shoot them a text message or call them immediately, because those people, they either came to your website, they came to your Home Value Pros page, they just didn't fill out forms, they didn't fill out the information. And so those are like really high intent, like they were there today. Let's see what we can do to help them, and if they're there for a reason. So that's another integration, and obviously an example of more things that we're doing. All those leads will pipe into your CRM. After the 100 matches, I believe I have to check on our pricing there, but my understanding is, I think 100 matches is going to go a long way for everyone, and there's just no extra charge for that. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, so before I move forward, I know we said a lot. Amalfi said, how about prospects? And then Ian said, I have gone back to look at county records to confirm the names coming in from ZipISA, and at least 1/3 coming in are not actual owner. And yeah, so that's a good call. So one of the things that we found, and so we are actually working on this with actually a few people as well. Not everything that comes in is the true owner, like properly, and that's really important because the agent actually it pulls these records from like a number of sources online, and what we're working on doing is actually verifying whether or not they are the true owner. But what we do know is that these people live in the house, because the agent actually goes and uses the IP address first. And so they live in that house, and so the address is always good. And what we're looking to unlock next is actually, I just got off a call with the founder. It's a mailing service where basically your agent is going for when I talked about the kind of like the lead rankings, the highest intent ones. We're looking to give your agent the ability to basically, if someone hits like a score of 90 or 100 in terms of their intent signal, but they haven't booked a call with us, your agent will automatically send them a postcard, very like personalized, handwritten postcard. And actually, it's a company. It's a company that actually has a bunch of robots that they do a really good job at this, where they're actually like handwriting these postcards. And so that is our next step. And so to get there, back to Ian's question there, to get to that step, what we have to do is we have to know who the true homeowner is, or at least the person at the home that would be like the decision maker. Because obviously it could be the husband, or it could be the wife, and maybe they're not on title, but they're also, a decision maker in that household. And so understanding even like to if it was me, to the Raffertys, right? Like who is it actually going to be? And so before we unlock that, we need to make sure that we're actually getting to that true homeowner as well, to be able to unlock that feature for everyone here. And so again, everything that we unlock, it's going to be no extra cost for let's say the first 10 every month. Obviously with mailers, like it's a base cost plus the postage, but we believe with the intent scoring that your agent is doing, these are going to be the most high value letters and postcards that are ever getting sent, and it's going to be a big moat for what these agents are. And so to the question of like prospects, every single person that's in your lead list today, obviously it's a prospect. The degree of what that prospect is, obviously that's to be seen. And so that's where the lead scoring is going to come in, and that'll be a number of factors. It includes all the demographic information that you're seeing there, why the agent found that person and reached out to that person and brought them into the list, but then also how many touch points we've had with that person and what engagement we've had with those touch points. All of that is coming in basically a very simple calculation where we're very transparent on what this is. And so what's really important here is with all of this, we're never deleting this data. Like you're always going to have this data. So, if it was up to, if you're pro, if it's up to 250 leads per month this month, then next month it's another up to 250, and the next month and the next month and the next month. But also, and there's no redundancy there, but also what's going on too is you're retaining all of that. And so obviously we'd like you to pipe it into your CRM and take it forward as well. But also there's a world where this kind of looks like a CRM. We're not looking to replace CRMs though. I think that's a really big function here. Okay, so I went over website. Oh, and then Lester. At what point is it best to speak with the homeowner? I wait for them to contact me, or I should try to contact them first. So, and again, and by the way, everyone, there's going to be a recording of this. I definitely addressed that question. I think I'll move forward with a few more things, and then I'll send the recording and like a really brief. I think brevity is important here. So I also hit the handwritten letters. I think that's really good. Another feature that we're seeing a lot in the market work really well is obviously like cash offers, which that's why we integrated with Home Value Pros. Also, when mortgage rates are turning over right now, If you're stuck in an arm and your rate is turning over, you came in 2021 or 2020, 2019, when everyone was coming into arms, you've got a big opportunity there. I think what we're seeing now is the ability to reach out at the right time is very important, but how you reach out is just as important. Email is what we have today. We have those inbounds. We're also looking to unlock text messaging and voicemail drops. Basically, what you could think about is your AI agent would also have a phone number. And so that's a next step. We're actually integrating with a partner called Semblue, that your agent also comes with its own phone number, where it can text homeowners, but homeowners can also text them. And so what does that really mean? Today, it looks like, this agent is getting you leads. But what it means tomorrow is like you have your personal AI concierge that you can give to a homeowner today, and that concierge can answer any questions. Might answer questions on neighborhood. It might answer questions on the things that are selling locally near them, and like what is a good valuation for my home, like all those things. And so you don't necessarily have to have that conversation, but you own that outreach. And so you'll be seeing this, you'll be watching this all the time. I think that's a really kind of like important feature, because when I say that, if I'm a real estate agent, I'm thinking, okay, cool. Like I just gave you all my homeowners. But what I started here was you own your agent. And so what does that actually mean? You're actually owning all these conversations, and all these conversations are adding to the value of your agent, especially when it improves your agent's ability to understand that area, the homeowners in the area, the demographics and all that stuff. There's going to be a point where your agent's already identified all the homeowners in this zip code, this county, this city, and now it's a nurture. That it's really the farming and maintaining that update. And so when we think about that, we're never turning these agents off. If you left your zip code today, we're actually going to keep that agent running because there's value in that zip code. But instead of just leaving this product like a normal, product, what if you have something that felt like a domain that you could, if let's say you were retiring or something, you're actually going to sell that domain to another agent that is obviously active in the area. That's how we're looking at this, and that's how we're thinking of this actually like evolving this product, this platform. And so that's why we say, when you own this, you own this. That's why that's my main thing. And that's really where I want that standpoint of value to land. Okay, so we're at almost an hour live. I want to finish up with a couple more things. Sorry, I have like this list behind me of things that I need to cover. Another thing that we're looking to unlock, where it kind of is like the very similar to the postcard conversation, is your agent can run ads on your behalf. This makes sense for us when we have, let's say, in a given area, we have all the seats covered in the area. Okay, cool. We'll deploy an ad budget because then we're bringing in more conversations and more opportunities for the agents to learn up to a certain extent. When we've really refined product, that's when you can put, here's $10, agent, go and run ads on Facebook or what have you, and bring in, X number of inbound, calendar invites for me. And so that's where these AI agents, like understanding the complexity of what is actually being built behind the scenes is really important, because there's so many things that we could integrate with, as could you, if you have ChatGPT, if you have Claude, if you have all of these big AI tools, these big companies, but it gets so cost prohibitive if you haven't validated the proper workflows that actually work and are actually return on your investment. And so that's why we've unlocked certain workflows, because we know that those work and we know that there's a return on investment there. Obviously, not just for us, obviously for you as a real estate agent. And so those are the workflows that we have today. And so there are other workflows that we're looking to take live as well that we know are working, and we're actually actively testing them right now with certain subsets. And we're looking to unlock across the board, especially at the pro user level and founding member level. And so those would be examples of those types of workflows. Ad workflow flow, when done right, it works really well. If you've run Facebook ads, it sucks. It's really annoying. You have to manage these campaigns. You have to, make sure that your campaign is performing. You have to, monitor the ad spend and make sure you're not blowing your budget. It's really annoying, but AI agents are really good at doing all those things. And you can set those workflows once, and then you're kind of like running from there. So those would be examples of how we're looking to unlock those things. I think, to close this up at a platform level, we've come a long way. I think if for anyone that's here and was with us from the beginning, the dashboard looks completely different. The tabs on the dashboard, we've added so many tabs on the dashboard as well. The dashboard obviously is living and breathing. We want it to be even more living and breathing, to really show you like what's actually happening. But also we have almost 100 founding members bringing more agents in today, which actually improves our ability to do these things, right? Add more features to the model. Go and, oh, thanks, Lisa. Yes, very exciting. Bring more, oh, Charlene, amazing. Yes, I appreciate that too. Bring more products and partnerships to the fold for all of you, because that's really what the valuable thing that we know is when you are basically across every single area on the web where homeowners are. And this is actually how we start to disrupt like the big players. That would be like your Zillow, that would be your realtor.com, that would be your MLSs, right? How can we do this differently to actually put you at the center of this, where this thing is always working and growing and breathing around you, and then driving all traffic to you. That's the opportunity here. And if you're a founding member, there's going to be more and more, things that you're going to see unlock. And really, I think the biggest thing is you're grandfathered in on pricing. So like your rate is not going to change. We're going to keep adding more things and all these things. Like the prices will go up, domain values go up, but your rate's going to be, stay the same. And what we, if you look at like the CapEx spend of Anthropic, which is, the founder of Claude. If you look at the spend of like OpenAI, which is the founder of ChatGPT, both these companies are IPOing at like $1 trillion. It's insane. Like, what does that even mean? But they're also spending a lot of money, like every month, like, tens of billions of dollars to maintain these things. Obviously, I'm starting to get nerdy, shut me up. But when I think about this, that spend actually goes back to something, because these models learn, your agents learn, and they have unlimited retention. And so that, like, if it was me, like you have a cap on like the amount that I can retain in any given day, but this thing's working 24/7. So when I think about the spend and the connections and the partnerships and everything, it's actually going back to improving the underlying model, which y'all are receiving the benefit of and obviously owning, but we also are able to make everything that comes hereafter. Basically, the way to think about it is that like this is as bad as they'll ever be, right? This is as bad as the leads will ever be. This is as bad as the partnerships will ever be. Like everything only goes up from here, and that value is baked in. That's why they're spending, tens of billions of dollars every month on these models. That's why they're making, 5 upgrades a year to their models as well. That's our opportunity here. That's what I'm really excited about too. I really appreciate everyone that's here on the ground floor. You are on the ground floor of this, and we're really building what I believe is the future. It's definitely not replacing real estate agents. I think what AI does today is it erodes a layer of trust fundamentally, and we need to bring back that trust layer, which is a human-to-human connection. And so we can remove, kind of like extrapolate all the areas out and really find what AI is really good for, which is maintaining those relationships to when that connection should be made, bringing information to homeowners and bringing the right details and information and offers and value to homeowners at any time. You don't need to be on your phone 24/7, but your agent can. And then they can tell you when you should come in and help it out. Thanks everyone for joining. If there's any other questions, shoot me an email, either Aaron@ZipISA or support@ZipISA. The support@ZipISA is going to come through kind of like an agentic flow there. So definitely I'm across all those as well. And then I know out of everything that I spoke of today, if you send an email, please do. What is like most exciting? Also, what is the most like mind-numbing and confusing to you, so we can make sure that we're integrating and setting expectations properly, and then we'll go from there. Thanks everyone for joining. And Joshua, please, yeah, exactly, shoot an email, and then we will. I'll make sure that I get back. Thanks so much, everyone. Thanks, Diana. Thanks, April. Thanks, Jeff.